Hey everybody, welcome. It's time for a premiere draft of Core Set 2021. What's to say about this format at this point? I'm still having fun with it, but as I was just saying before flipping on the YouTube switch here, that I've been appreciating Jumpstart for at least how it shows that Magic is so fundamentally good mechanically as a game. You know, the perils of the mana system aside, the fundamental nature of building up resources with which to deploy creatures into combat and use spells to interact with the opponent and the opponent's creatures, just that baseline is an amazing gameplay experience that if it existed on some other, if you went to a world that didn't have Magic at all and you gave it its most baseline Magic experience, the most bread and butter Magic you could imagine, it would be revolutionary, innovative, and would take that world by storm. The simplest Magic would do that in a gaming world that didn't have it, right? And I think Jumpstart really reminds me that that you don't have to get complicated to sell this game to somebody. And by sell, I don't mean sell for dollars, but to sell conceptually that this is this fun experience. And Jumpstart really does that. Of course, if you do want to sell stuff for dollars, then you're competing with my sponsor, Card Kingdom. They sell all the stuff you need for your tabletop game, including the Jumpstart stuff, if you want to give it a try on there. And they're also gearing up for Double Masters. Double Masters is big on their radar. I'm going to link you to the Card Kingdom Double Masters page. The thing is, here, like, I don't know, you should go there for my affiliate link and then click on the Double Masters thing, or maybe you can help me here. If chat can figure out how to create a link. So here's my affiliate link, right? Here's my affiliate link. And then here's my Double Masters. Here's the Double Masters link to Card Kingdom. I'm trying to figure out how to combine those two so that people can go to the Card Kingdom, go to the Double Masters page on Card Kingdom via my affiliate link. I can't figure out how to get it done, but I only tried for about 20 minutes this morning, or, you know, not even 20, a few minutes. Anyway, a little aside there, if chat can figure that out. In the meantime, there's two links there for you to check out. The first one, my affiliate link. The second, Double Masters. Pretty excited about that too. They do remind, by the way, Card Kingdom reminded me that, you know, they're somewhat on a whitewater rapids river ride when it comes to product supply and availability at this point, and what they can promise to people and what they can expect. They just want to keep things real and keep things up front and say that the COVID situation has dramatically affected supply lines such that how much they're going to have, they're not even sure, right? They want to serve everybody the best they can, but they also want to be honest up front that there's a lot of uncertainty about supply, and they're just going to continue to try to communicate. That's all I expect from a business about this kind of stuff. You know, nobody's going to expect any business to just shrug off this situation we're in, but those that communicate about it and let us know what's up are the ones that I respect and the most, and Card Kingdom is doing that. So thanks for that, Card Kingdom. Now let's check this out. Print the hell out of Jumpstart or Double Masters? Probably Jumpstart, right? Double Masters has got to be a fixed. They cap those pretty carefully. Hey, look, it's Veto. I haven't had Veto in a while. Black, not generally where people want to be, but Veto is a self-contained bomb. You have to. Ideally, you get some stuff that has natural lifelink, but you don't even need that. You can play this in green, black, and just give all your 6/6 tramplers, you know, lifelink, and that, right? So we'll take Veto. I am noting the shock, though. If this were a medium type rare, just medium, I would snap up this shock because it's the only red card in the pack, literally. So when you can start off with a great playable like this and cut a color from your opening pack, because there might be good red coming, and if you can successfully just make 0 of it in your opener, you really have a great shot to cut the color downstream, which is not the most important place, but it does really reward you in pack 2 if you can set it up. But you just can't marry that idea. Like you set that up and see if it comes your way, but you can't force it if it's not there. Well, and I was talking about how you can run this in just a green-black and have beefy stuff that you give lifelink and just kill them out of nowhere. So I'm liking the Visionary. There's double vision, which Luis has talked about on LR a couple times as being a very reasonably powerful build-around. We could take double vision and basically follow one of these rares. So I'm curious what chat thinks on this one. We could just take a spec on the vision as well. Yeah. Well, the trouble with rares, you have Foreigner going through your head right now, Parappa. Well, it's just memeing rares doesn't quite give the long-term payoff. I think I'm back on Visionary. I just calling out that if you wanted to mess around too, if you like the build around aspect, you could totally take double vision and try to build, but we're going to take the Visionary. I think big fat stuff with Veto is a real plan if it comes together. And it looks like it might be, and if not, I mean, it's weird. I usually expect black to be a little more open than we're seeing it, although this is pack 3, pick 3, you can't really tell that much about openness. It could just be pack color density at this point. But I like the Visionary here. Yeah, this is the type of double vision I want, right? And Mom, I was just saying we could totally make a Foreigner meme out of double vision, but it just doesn't come up that much. I'll just sing it for you. Close your eyes. I don't know the lyrics, but that double vision. I know that part. Bolt Hound. Sad they're not better green here. I don't think we do Life Goes On even in this deck. That's not how I want to do it. Because it's unplayable without Veto. Yankum likes Hobble Fiend. I'm kind of with Flip. Like, this Bolt Hound is interesting. But yeah, there's no white flowing at all. I think we take Bolt Hound on best overall. Pressing Alt in picks. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I didn't know. So this looks like Wizards is starting to put in the features that third-party stuff has put in. So this is me holding down the Alt key. Good call out, whoever called that out. What do we want here? A Skeleton Archer could help support the Veto. We've seen no black, really. Trouble is we've seen no really great cards. I wish I could say, like, we're drafting the hard way, but we're drafting the hard way because the packs stink. I'm going to take the Archer because I really would like to play Veto if possible. And Truffle Snout is pretty replaceable. Also, you know.
Archer. Archer? Archer. Archer! Archer!
Yeah, this is actually a spot where I'm happy to take a Mythic. There's a Dreadmaw. Maybe I'll take the Dreadmaw. It's a Mythic. This account is flush. Again, I think if you care about collection building, you could take the Mythic. But I think we're going to take the Dreadmaw. This is exactly what we want to be ramping to with these double Visionaries. But if you are in a gem-constrained situation, the Mythic was definitely correct there. But you still have to be in a position to grind those into gems. So I've lost it. What? What's going on here? Short Sword? Gnarled Sage, I guess, is potentially acceptable. We are really not... Oh, I've lost Icy. Yeah, no, I got it. I didn't lose it. I got that Fruit Fly. Every fruit fly you clap between your hands is 2 million fruit flies you've prevented. I did the math. Imp, yeah, pretty easy, right? So yeah, green seemed like the lane for us for sure, and this confirms that. I'm going to take Guile. If we do end up... Well, Track Down could help us find Veto. Guile and Track Down, if we end up in the black lane here, both help with the Veto plan. Rebirth could get it back. Yeah, Rebirth is possible. I've not been super impressed with this card. I find it difficult to reliably create 2/1/1 tokens, which I feel like you need to do for that to be worth it. But Guile, yeah, I'm going to take first Guile over first Track Down. Guile protecting Veto is good stuff, and Village Rites is nice, and if we can pick up one of those fungal rebirths or something, I like it a lot better with Village Rites, both because you can use the rights to make sure you get the 1/1s, or use the 1/1s with the rights. More evidence that we're in a decent place with the, you know, is this playable? I think if you're doing counters, maybe, but we probably just want a corpse. There are some actually zombie synergies, like we could end up with that uncommon that'll turn this into a 3/2 or something. And you know, this format, 2s, we're okay with 2s. Here's that Life Goes On. I don't want to play even in a Veto deck because it's too bad without the Veto. Rebirth of Slick, like my gangster stroll. What do we do? We just go there? Certainly, what's the opportunity cost? So when you see a bomb like this that's not in a color you've picked yet, you have to ask yourself, first and foremost, what the opportunity cost is. If that were a blank, that were some junker, what are we taking here? Like Training or Pride Malkin or Freebooter? So the opportunity cost here is, you know, Freebooter, Blackguard, Training, Pride Malkin level card, maybe Pride Malkin. And that's a pretty small cost all told. If there was like a Grasp of Darkness or a Pteranodon, or even like the green punch card, the bite card, those would all make me wonder if we shouldn't just stick with our lane hard. But this is too good not to spec on, given the lack of anything else motivating us in that pack particularly strongly. No blue in here whatsoever. And here's the Devotee that I was just talking about. This is why I opted for the Corpse. If we have the Devotee out, even the Corpse gets decent. So I think we're still green-black. If we end up with significant mana fix, like Cultivates come our way, we could maybe splash this or something, but I think it was worth it. And we're not done with this yet, but I think we're probably not playing this. But it was certainly worth taking in that context, but we're not seeing any more support for it. We're seeing things like Grasp of Darkness. We just have to keep our lane when it's offering this over trying to support Epiphany with something like a Frantic Inventory or a Sphere. Pretty easy grasp. Are we a Haze deck? Where are we at? Let's see. It kills Imp, Corpse, Devotee lives, Veto lives, Bolt Hound's not real. This isn't great with that. Kills Visionaries. I don't like that. Yeah, we could take the Thornwood, and then if we get more of this, I don't like this, and I don't think we're doing the partition thing, although we could be, I guess, with the Veto. I like Thornwood. Haze just kills too much of our stuff, I think. I don't want to haze our... Oh, you like the Glutton? I'm going to take the land. I bet that Glutton wheels I feel like I can get any number of those gluttons. I have a hard time picking a glutton that early. I just feel like they come around. You're right, Fenor. Maybe I'm overthinking that particular non-bow, since the visionary gives you value simply by existing, but I do want to tap it for land and stuff. You want Frost Breath, but I don't know if we're blue, and I certainly don't think we're splashing a Frost Breath particularly, because if we have Veto as our finisher, we don't need to tap stuff, we just need to lifelink it and go. Well, this is best of one, so either we're playing this or not. But I'm taking it. Fabled Passage is a decent pickup here. I like it over the Track Down, the Opt, another Dilo, or the Gift. Passage could help us with the Thornwood get the Epiphany in. Like, if we get a Cultivate from here, I've said that I want 5 sources. I want to be able to have 5 ways to get double blue to play an Epiphany. But Fabled Passage helps put us toward that. Uprising. Are we an Uprising deck? Sage, Dreadmaw. We're kind of trying to be a little bit on the high end, but we're not quite there yet. Grat's Downpour. Yeah, this is probably just a gem spot. I don't think we're doing this. You think we have time, Woodrow? Woodrow says, we have time. Take this. I suppose we should hedge. This account doesn't need gems. I would say, though, that if you're a gem style, like if you're a gem hungry account, go for the gems there. Stitcher's interesting. Pulling me into the splash. Where's Alan? He said not to splash, but I think we're heading towards a splash now. You think the Thalid's too good? True really wants the Thalid. I think Stitcher is good enough to take here with our splash potential and with a pack to go yet. Wrong color here. I think we want, again, yeah, we're getting a little bit into the blue, but not, I don't want Megalodon here. The Thalid dude is great, and if that was your pick, I can't tell you, I'm certain you're wrong. Canopy Stalker, we don't really have the tools to make that work. Truffle Snout is fine. Take the Snouty Snout. I think we're getting into this, though. It's looking less and less likely that that's a thing. Snout with Veto is interesting, sure. Rugged Highlands is a shame. Houndmaster, a shame. We'll take Highlands in case we somehow find red we want to splash, but probably not playing this. All right, the Glutton did come back. Even the Haze came back. What do you think, chat? We got 10 seconds. I'm probably going to pick before a lot of you even see this, but I think the Gluttons are easy to get. I took the Haze. I meant to end up on Glutton, actually. I think we'll still get Gluttons, but the Haze is all right. I just don't know if we're going to play the Haze, whereas I think we're pretty sure to play a Glutton, but I also think we're pretty sure to get a Glutton. You can see how important Gluttons were to our fellow drafters. So, like, I think both of these are going to wheel when we get a nice Demonic Embrace. How about that going our way? So we're going to take the Embrace here, snap easily. It's gems, it's bombs, it's on color, etc. And then when this Glutton comes back, we'll take it, okay? Another Dreadmaw could hop in. We only have the one, and we have some ramp here, and there's nothing much else going on. Probably wheel this Corpse. So taking another Dreadmaw here over Vine or Corpse, and we can decide on this stuff when we see the wheel. Another Houndmaster, although it doesn't seem anybody's interested because there was a Houndmaster very late in one of our other packs. Here's another Haze we could grab. Kill all them weenies. We do have Rugged Highlands and a Fabled Passage. If we ended up, we could take this, and then if we ended up with a Cultivate somewhere between here and pick 8, we could splash that. But probably just want one of these green cards, right? This is just okay, and these are good enough to do this. I think Training over Mauler is where I'm at. That's what I'm going to do. Another Archer we could grab. There's another Truffle Snout. Let's look at our curve again. We may just need a Blackguard here. We have one already, and I do not love this card, but I do not love failing to put a 2-drop down in this format. And we're in pack 3, so I think we just have to take the 2 and be happy we're getting a playable one. Rise Again could double up on this possible stitching for really, I just Dreadmaws. I mean, it's not like we're getting, or Veto, you know, recovering a Veto. We could just get the Oak. The Oak attacks is a pretty solid duder. I think Black is pretty undrafted here. We could take the Oak and probably wheel this Rise Again. And again, I just don't think, I mean, besides getting back Veto, that's the most exciting thing Reanimation does for us. I think I'm going to go for a solid, especially without heavy hitter 4s. I'm going to go for a heavy hitter 4. Gnarled Sage is a bit of a heavy hitter 5 or medium hitter for 5, honestly. Truffle Snout, number whatever, 2. Pretty deep at 3. Again, don't know if we're hazing. Don't even know if we're splashing. At this point, might send all of this away and be a grown-up about this deck. Yeah, we could just take Prismite for another playable 2 that could help with that splash if we do it. I'm down with that. I don't think we need either of these. Maybe a Shade. Maybe that Sage could have found a way. Can I just go back and start with 3 Houndmasters and just try and make that deck work? We'll take another Guile here. I don't know if we play 2, though. Not taking the Runafile, though. Here's a Mauler we can grab, but there are some other options. This is a zombie that would be a 3/3 with our Devotee. I don't love its ability, per se. Gloomsower would give us something to potentially, you know, reanimate if we wanted to do that. Another Rites. But again, we're low at 4, and I do expect some of this stuff to die. I'm going to take the Mauler. Mauler's fine. And here's the pick 9. The Haze has come back. Oh, I really thought we thought that Lifelinker would be here. Now, especially, I wish this Haze that we have, wish that were a Lifelinker we could consider. It's not going to be a huge loss for us, really. We don't even want the Titanic Growth here. I don't think we're ever playing 2 Hazes, so I'll take a Titanic Growth to keep that potential. Here's another Corpse. I think we just grab the Corpse. Given our Liliana's Devotee and a need to, we would like to upgrade some of these 2s. This becomes an upgrade, sadly. A true Grizzly Bear becomes an upgrade when you've got the Lord for it. Mind Rot, we're not running, so let's take another kitty option. Probably not running this either. Don't think we got there on the splash. We didn't get there. I mean, we have the Prismite. So we can have... but I just don't think the splash got there. Obviously, if Epiphany were a single blue, we would play it in a heartbeat, but it's too hard to double splash, and I don't think the Stitcher is doing it particularly enough in this deck to justify. So we're going to cut Thornwood and Highlands. We'll keep the Fabled Passage. That's fine. It's just like a upgraded Evolving Wilds or whatever. And so now we got, so let's cut the Prismite, especially given that we're 18-9 currently. We are best of 1. We are We have Dreadmaws we're trying to get to, which makes me like normal land counts, but we also have double Visionary. So between the Visionary is interesting in what it does to your ability to shave to 16, because I think a great non-hand smoothing considered opinion from Ben S is that in general you can run 16 land if your deck can function on 3. And Visionary really helps decks function on 3 because you're both drawing a card to dig for more land and it taps for mana. So if you don't find it, you're still doing that. Yeah, I think we cut 1 Guile for sure. Good call. Can we maybe cut the Titanic Growth? I like Shade John. I like ditching this as not where we want to be. I don't know if we cut both Blackguards though. I think we're happy to have 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, we might even want 5. Like we might want all these. Might want 5 things to do on 2. Yeah, Uprising's definitely got to go. That was just a spec. These 2 are not enough for that. So that's a nice easy cut. And then, yeah, then I think with the double Visionary and really not much of a top end, just the Dreadmaws, we can shave between Hand Smoother, double Visionary, and not a significant top end. We can cut actually a Forest. We just need 1 Forest by 3 for the Visionary. Maulers and Oak get to 4 power. But what's your point, Woodrow? Yeah, these Maulers and Oak don't interact with Uprising at all, right? Well, I guess the Mauler can enter with. Oh no, it happens at the end. So yeah, Mauler doesn't even enter with it. It happens at the end of turn. So yeah. Yeah, Furious Rise, these would be legit. But, or sorry, these would be legit for Furious Rise for sure. I think this looks good. And what are we calling this? Well, come on. Because we didn't even take the card. This will be a fair pump fake for YouTube. Now, look at me using my tool to see that Timnos redeemed basic lands, which I'm going to mark as complete now because we're going to go do that. Timnos, I do not have the green or black jumpstart basic, so if you want to change from these, here are your options. We've got, let's just look at the swamps. This is what's in now. Of course, the classic, these 2 classics. Nyx it is. All right. Maybe I'll mix up the sleeves. I love me these rat sleeves, but we got some other... I can never use my Soul Ring sleeve. We paid a lot of good gems for this. I'm gonna use it. All right, we're going to jump in, and I'm going to pull this one because I want to see what people think about this deck. If we played this event out a million times... Did it not? It says poll started, but then it didn't show the options. I don't know. I don't know if you all are voting right now. Oh, there. MTG bot. Come home, you're drunk. We go first. We got Veto and a 2-drop. No forest yet, but I can't throw this back when our bomb is here, and any green source just turns on the whole hand excellently. I don't know if it counted those early votes, but some good confidence in this one. 5 wins, getting the most votes. That's usually a sign of a pretty good deck, and it's got some bombs. It's got low removal, but not no removal. Mostly we're trying to be proactive and power out Colossi, Dreadmaws, and win with Veto. Oh, sorry, wrong scene. You got it. Here we go. Our Apopedrodo Valley is chilling. You think best of one is too aggro? Not. I would say the Titanic Growth is in because when we were deciding what to cut, it survived, not because we thought, aha, this is the deck for Titanic Growth. But it's not a useless card. I mean, we could go Ranger's Guile. We could do Ranger's Guile number 2 instead of Titanic Growth, for example. But I think you can play a Titanic Growth and it's not the worst, especially in this format where creatures are really bashing into each other a lot. All right, we got there on Forest, so now we're going to get this on 3. We'll keep that disguised though for now. Flip is thumbs up on Titanic Growth in the abstract. Yeah, there's just combat tricks get better in aggro formats because creatures just tend to bounce off, to crash into each other more, and and also often they're crashing into each other early. In a format where people are talking about, oh, you got to get on board soon, that means people are going to be tapped out a lot. And when people are tapped out, when players are tapped out, that's when opponents' combat tricks are at their best because the risk is so mitigated. So, like right now, we get to attack in with the Walking Corpse, and Pedro can't really block here. Not that they would necessarily want to, but even if they kind of wanted the corpse dead. Oh, wow, okay. So, like, I say can't really block. I'm quite happy to make this trade, and I'm going to just go for the Visionary and let this trade happen. But the point is, we were in a very powerful position to attack with all the flexibility of knowing if they did block, we could just decide what we wanted to do, and we were going to make that happen. But I really want the Visionary here because we don't actually have a 4th land yet. We did shave to 16. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah, we got 2 mana in our opener, which is what the Hand Smoother helps do or whatever, but it does not guarantee that you're going to hit your 5th land on 5. That helps, though. 4th land on 4 gets us close, and Veto plus Training here is... Or Veto, Hold Up, Guile, or Veto plus Train... Oh, no, I restarted my computer, so Cardboard Live isn't even... loaded. Thank you for the reminder. I should put that in my startup programs just so I don't have to remember every time. Should be up now. Yeah, so the Ooze is good. We can get there though. We might... trouble with Veto against red is that they could... we could make it a 2/3 trample or whatever, but if they have the Guile... If they have the removal, we'll be really sad. Trouble is we also want to tap out for a Dreadmaw next turn, so Veto is going to be shields down anyway. That being said, we'll probably draw out a trick with it, or removal with it, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. I'm not going to do training. I'm going to hold up Guile, and also we could just wait and... If we get a land here, continue to hold up Guile. And just presume that as long as we can keep Veto alive and eventually get to a Dreadmaw, we'll even be able to beat an Ooze. Yeah, true, I cut that one close. Sorry for giving you a heart attack, or anybody else who was paying attention to that. That was high risk. I could have easily lost that turn with how close I cut it to the fuse there. Ugh. Well, now I like training on Veto, looking for land. Not getting land, but getting Fetid Imp, which is at least playable here while keeping Guile up. And Veto doesn't have Trample himself, but we're also not going to put Veto in harm's way, so I'm going to go ahead and send Veto knowing that a tapped Oppo has no blocks here. Yeah, Tuft is... We're kind of telegraphing the Guile. Yeah, holding up Death Touch... No, I want Veto to live. I don't care if it's telegraphed. I'm not... If I can, I'm going to leave... Like, frankly, my ideal draw is a Forest. And we play Burlfist Oak, leaving up Ranger's Guile, finding another Forest, and then Dreadmaw with Ranger's Guile up. If possible, I'm going to leave this Guile up, is my is my bottom line. And no, I need this for mana, and we're at 17. I'm going to let them do their worst here, which, you know, is harsh. But again, if we find a Forest, I think we're in a nice spot for the following turn, because we get... A Forest is just the dream draw. Because we get the Oak, and then we get Guile plus Imp activation, so... I guess I'll use my one time for the stream nice and early. Forest, please, Magic Gods. Not quite. Is this reasonable, though? It's reasonable, and I think, though... yeah, we could veto it, but we don't get back quite enough, I think, in that spot, right? We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go to 15. Actually, we go to 15. Yeah, Oak, leave up Death Touch is, I think, the play here. I think you're right. I gotta go Shields down on Guile because we didn't get there on Forest. Those are the two choices. Archer, leave up Guile, or Oak, leave up Death Touch. And at this point, now I feel like we have to risk them being able to take out Veto so that we can try and force the Ooze to stay back. Because the Ooze being able to trade, Imp being able to trade with Ooze is big game for us. Might even have to put Veto in front of a Cur here or something. Let's, we're at 10. Let's see what they do. Okay, good. Come on, deck. Not quite what we're looking for, but at the same time, they don't seem to be showing... I guess we go Archer here. I go Archer... Leave up Guile and Death Touch, and we get to do that with all of our blockers up. Archer can threaten to trade with the Gorehorn, and Imp still threatens to trade with Ooze, and we can work towards Dreadmaw with Guile up. I don't want to not use Veto. You know, like, Veto's a little bit being underused here, and I'd hate to miss the right Veto opportunity, but boy, if we use him incorrectly, we could just lose the game by trying to do the life gain, deal damage thing at the wrong time. I'm going to stay patient. Oh, and sorry, here's your Archer meme.
Archer. Archer? Archer. Archer! Archer!
Yes, that's from the Archer show, and it's a incredible comedy. All right, so they're threatening 1, 2, and let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, 8, like 9. Like if they could do 9 if they had like Ranger's Guile and the other pump, we could probably just take this, but we can also put in Oak. We could just trade the Oak off for one of the Curs and force them to pump there. And then if they're spending the turn doing that, we're kind of okay with that. But we could also just take this and then potentially have that set up next turn of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, gaining 12, dealing 12. But yeah, I think if we just offer trades and stuff here, we're going to be fine. Although I think I want Archer for... I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. They can pump to get a lot of damage through, or pump, but they got to trade for the Oak, right? I get it, but we have the Fetid Imp. What I want is earmarked blockers. So kind of what I'm doing here is making sure that certain things have other things contained. Right now, Fetid Imp is containing the Ooze, Archer is containing the Gorehorn, and so I'm willing to use the other stuff to trade for Curs, and that's my thinking on this. Sage puts shields down on Guile again, but gives us a play that offers both blocks and Fetid Imp activation, so I'm again going to go Sage and be patient on the Dreadmaws. When I say again, I mean, again, I am not going to tap out to play a 6. That's the again that I refer to there. And so because I have kind of these assigned blockers of Imp on Ooze and Archer on Gorehorn, we got to watch out, you know, if Oppo messes with our Imp or our Archer, then suddenly the world has changed. And right now we don't have a Guile up, so they could mess with our Imp or our Archer. But the Sage added to the board, and there you go. Just so, right? Just so. Well, a little pinched on the green, and that has really impacted how we can approach a lot of what we do here. In this case, if they're going to send just the Ooze, I'm not going to even look at graveyards yet, but basically, once they've committed to the attack, now we're going to check graveyards. So the Ooze is effectively a 6/6, but that's it. If they use removal, it would be like exile removal, so probably they're not going to... 7/7? Why 7/7? What did I miss? Oh, Hobblefiend, sorry. I missed Hobblefiend. I just saw the shock somehow. 7/7. So 7/7 still trades. It's a 2-for-1. Might be worth it. We could also let them hit for 7. Downpour says we have to block. I don't know how you get to have to. If we don't die from 7, we don't, quote, have to, right? That being said... Well, we're dead to a trick, yes. We're dead to, very specifically, the deal +4/+4, right? I think we have to double block here and hope the Dreadmaws from here... If this trade happens and then Dreadmaws come down, we'll be okay. Yeah, I don't think we can beat those cards anymore, so I'm going to risk it. We may be just losing to interaction here, but we have to try to take out this Ooze and hope that Oppo's happy with a 2-for-1. Because you can at least tell yourself that Oppo would do the math and be fine trading the 7/7 for these two big beasties, you know, that are also getting away here. And they also hadn't shown much suggestion that they were on that from the other. Okay, so now I actually like Visionary, continuing to look for Forest, and actually having Visionary Guile could trade for the Gorehorn, and then the other Visionary can trade for one of the Curs. Forest, come on, system, give me a Forest already. All right, well, maybe now instead of trying to Ranger's Guile, I can... I think we still need a Guile and trade for the Gorehorn. Which is too bad. It means I can't do both of these. I could let one visionary go on the chump. That'd be all right, too. Training and trade. I don't know what that means. The training's over here? You mean guile and trade? Yeah, guile and trade was the idea, but what I was saying is it turns off the fungal rebirth. Regardless, this is going here. Training and trade. When were you talking about training, though? This training has been out for, like, forever, so I don't know what training we're talking about is what I'm... So we're going to block... If we go fungal, double block... Yeah, we could... You mean veto? Double, like, we could... Oh, now it's too late. I can't do the double block. I've committed to this. Now it's a question of whether we're guiling or not. I'm going to do this. Well, that should be good for us, but right now we're going to drop a Dreadmaw and try and trade. Ooh, big tramples. So obviously got to make this block. We have the fungal rebirth. And another Dreadmaw anyway. Forest. I really want a forest. Oh my god. I want a hard cast Dreadmaw without having to tap this visionary. Six mana again. Really pinched here. The 4/5 Menace is annoying. But we can go Mauler and double the... we go Mauler, double the Brute, and then Visionary chump occur. And I think we're not... No, then we're still dead? So is there a... yeah, I guess we're on gain 5, actually. No attacks. Well, yeah, we have to block everything or we lose. So therefore, instead, we have to try and gain life. Right? I don't see a win if we don't go with a game life plan. Because, no, we don't go to 1. We go Mauler, and then we put Mauler and Rose on the Brute. We put Visionary on one of the Curs. The other Cur pumps twice and kills us. We can't. We take a Cur hit. My math, maybe my math is wrong. You know I get stuff wrong sometimes, but that's the math my brain just did, so I'm going to go with my brain here, see if it does right by me. Yeah, we can take the 4. But we have to do this. I guess... You could have been saying, if someone was saying, do this block but have the Mauler out right now instead of doing the lifelink, I could see that too. So maybe that was the idea. But this was my plan, so we'll see if it works out. Playing the Embrace was an option if we don't want to... If we wanted to go to 1, yes. And Mauler... Dead? I think I see us at 1. Why are we dead?
friend here is only mostly dead.
Oh, that is such the wrong color. Thanks, deck. My gosh. Yeah, I think no matter how I wove that one, we were going to be in trouble with these draws, but I think I could have set myself up to have a better spot with the right draws. Does that make sense? On the one, it's like a free lesson in the sense of I don't think we had losing to Azusa, losing to double Gorehorn is hurting my soul. Anyway, we can't win though, right? So let's move on. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the mana system and its pros and cons, if I can take a moment on that front. Batmeme just said, I love the mana system in Magic, but sometimes it feels like Garfield was trolling us. And I like to say that the gaming graveyard is filled with games that solved Magic's mana system, which is to say, sure, you can identify the pain that exists in the Magic mana system and identify that as a place that could use a little less pain, and it might be better. But a lot of the fixes people come up with throw the balance of the game out too much. So here's some things people do to fix the mana system that often can end up not working and breaking the game. Some of it's successful, but like let's take a look at something that's worked, right? Hearthstone. One thing you can do for the mana system is steadily march everybody up 1 mana per turn. If you think the gradual ramping of mana is the key to the Magic mana system, you can just have a system like Hearthstone. +1 every turn, everybody, right? That removes all variance from mana such that you lose an axis of variance. So if you're gonna smooth out that variance, because right now, at least in Magic, the mana system is a way that a lesser player can beat a more experienced player, right? The more experienced player stumbles on mana, the lesser player doesn't, and they manage to close out a game. That just doesn't happen in Hearthstone, so that you've taken an axis by which a lesser player can beat a better player by switching to that system in Hearthstone. So if you're going to fix the mana system that way, then you also need to take into account what you're going to do to backfill the consequence of that fix. So if you're taking away variance for the new player out of the mana system, you got to put it somewhere else in the game. And Hearthstone really does that. If you look at Hearthstone's card design, they go deep into the digital only space that they have to create randomness in the effects of the cards themselves. So even though the mana system is not a source of variance in Hearthstone, there is plenty of variance in Hearthstone. In fact, and players always complain about whatever the variance generator is. So in Hearthstone, obviously there's no thread in Hearthstone about how the shuffler or the mana system is broken, right? I get mana screwed. There's none of that. But there's RNG. I haven't even looked. I never go to Hearthstone forums, but I'm certain that the Hearthstone forums have threads about how the RNG is broken, because the randomness that occurs from the cards always goes the opponent's way, and the cards they draw off the top always go opponent, right? So you can lean into those RNG mechanics to make up for smoothing out the mana system the way Hearthstone did. But they also have the luxury of being digital only, where it's pretty easy to lean into the RNG stuff in the actual cards themselves. Another system I see games doing to, quote, fix the mana system is like what Duel Masters does, and even what a lot of tabletop strategy games do, which is to say, all right, here's a bunch of cards from the game. You're going to draw 7+ cards from this game, and here's the cool part, or the fix. You get to use those spells from the game, the meaty cards from the game, as lands. So instead, you can say, all right, I can either imagine if the rule in Magic was we didn't use lands at all, but instead, when you drew a Gnarled Sage, you had two choices. You could hold the Gnarled Sage in your hand to eventually cast it, I'm trying to get something out. Anyway, here's, you can hold the Ranger's Guile in your hand until you cast it, or you can play it upside down as a forest, right? So then you never have mana issues, effectively. You might have color issues, but basically if you can play your spells as lands, you don't even need lands in your deck. You do it that way. So two problems or two things you need to be aware of if you solve the problem that way. First, you still have the same thing of you have shifted variance. You have taken variance that helps the new player away from the new player. So where are you going to give that back to them in your game? Because if you did that to Magic, suddenly the spikes would rejoice, because now the spikes are going to crush because they never lose to you because of mana issues, right? So you're shifting the game more towards spikes when you smooth out the mana system that way. And then also you create a series of really rough emotional decisions, because the moment that you decide to play that Guile face down as a forest instead of a Ranger's Guile, the next turn they're going to try and burn the creature that you would have saved with your Ranger's Guile, and you're going to be like, I shouldn't have made it a land. I should have. And so a huge issue with the use spells as lands solution to Magic's mana issue is that you create a new feel bad. You've replaced the feel bad of mana issues with the feel bad of, I have to take my handful of babies and turn some of them into stupid lands. And that's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to say, look at all this potential in front of me, and I have to give up on this potential and use it as lands. Not only give up on the potential, but make the correct strategic decision. What is the correct thing to give up on to win this game? Yeah, I've played Keyforge, and that's like the key. Another system is to instead of make the restriction the amount of mana you have, make it have a refill at your hand each turn. And if you're refilling your hand of cards each turn, that's an interesting solution, because you tend to solve it via card flow and make it really fun with that. I don't think I ever played Hex. No. But anyway, I just thought those are the two main solutions that I see to, quote, fixing the Magic mana system. Either just in digital games, auto-generating mana for every player each turn, or in paper games, using the complicated play pieces to become alternate simple play pieces. And there's real downsides to both of those. And I especially have issues with the complicated becoming simple, because I hate having to decide which stuff I don't get to play with. What stuff I don't get to use. That's a significant feel bad to me, that is someone who has successfully internalized the variance that can be so frustrating for others. That's way more frustrating to me than losing occasionally in Magic due to mana issues. So anyway, thought I'd do another little side there on the mana system and how tough it is to actually fix, because generally when you fix the Magic mana system in your new game that's Magic Magic adjacent, you are introducing a bunch of new problems for yourself to fix. They're not unsolvable, but you got to be aware of those problems or you're not going to be successful. And like Hearthstone is an example of a company that was aware of the problems and solved them to make sure their randomness existed somewhere else. So anyway, that being said, let's see if we can get a little luckier this time. Thanks for listening to my spiel.
Your friend here is only
Is there really a discussion within WotC about fixing the mana issues? Magic Craig asks. I don't know what you mean. Fixing is the wrong word. There's always a discussion about mitigating mana issues. One of the main things mechanics are trying to do is mitigate mana issues. That's what cycling's trying to do. That's what Scry is trying to do, Hey, Q. You are correct. Here's your deets on those. I beat Hat. And I'm streaming. Hey, look, this looks good. Blackguard at instant speed into Embrace. Let's surprise him. Yes, I think putting a certain amount of ETB tapped duels in the basic land slot for limited is chef's kiss, perfect way to deal with that issue. Well, I'm going to go swamp here. I suppose there's a chance that they do something that we want to respond to. Like if they go to try to put a Setessan training on the Pteranodon, we're gonna knock that thing right out from under it. What do you think? We have the Blackguard into Demonic Embrace sequence, but if we do that, we're taking 3 and then 7. We're basically going to 10 if we think what our big play is just a Blackguard, Demonic Brace, and attack. So I think we do kill here, and I'm going to kill the Pteranodon because I think it's actually a better card than the Ogre. It's a scarier card than the Ogre, and it attacks this turn for 3. We can even just like, I'm going to play Passage, and then Blackguard, block Ogre, and just try to embrace the Devotee instead of the Blackguard. Trade for Ogre or Spell, either way. Harbinger, scary. Well, let's get, I guess, more black. Although, if we find Guile, we might want to hold Guile up while we 2-spell. Actually, I think we want Forest for the Guile, holding up Guile. Okay, that was a good draw. We didn't have Sage yet, and I didn't want to put Devotee in front of Harbinger, but we can snout with a counter and actually have something to threaten the Harbinger. Big turn here. If they have the removal for the snout, we are in trouble, but they give it 1 hit, and then we get to drop a Sage and hopefully try to defend again. So maybe even the worst case here isn't that bad. That's what I mean. I didn't like that. We needed to draw something to deal with the Harbinger, and we did. We didn't have anything in hand for turn 4 that was going to give a block on the Harbinger. Exactly. Oh, it doesn't have pro-black. It's hexproof. Means we can't target it, if that's what you mean. If you meant, like, we wouldn't want to block it, yes, we don't want to block it, but we could. We are legally allowed to. It's not protection from. So now we could go... we're just gonna not get fancy here. We're gonna Sage it up. No Indiana Jones box. That'd be a good one. I don't think so. Got some Lucas stuff in the Star Wars, but no Indiana Jones. All right, we could go Devotee, hold up rights. Mauler, no value for now, hold up rights. Demonic Embrace. I like Mauler, hold up rights, and then next turn, see where we're at. Don't have Vigilance right now, so I'm going to stay back. Training. Might have to give up a Sage. Oh, they're going for probably a big Dino because then we don't have a single block on it. We'll see what they do here, though. Oh, they're going for that. I have no problem at all. I guess the trample is a thing, but I'm happy to throw Sage in front of that. Although, now I do want to trade... It's not like... Or creature with trample, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm in for the Sage trade here. We can put an Embrace on something next turn to have additional ability to block the Harbinger. And I don't want this thing to get any bigger or else it starts to force a 2-for-1. And they get a lot of trample here. They're going to do 4 damage to us, but it doesn't trigger the Harbinger or anything. Death Touch Trample. Powerful combo. I'm not going to Rights Away anything, though. We're going to keep trying to hold that. Ah, nice. We could go Shields down, and now I'm wishing I got a Swamp. I had my reasons with the possible Guile, but I mean, Imp is a reason to do Swamp, too. Rights as well. There's a lot of... We need to hold up a lot of green and a lot of black in the deck, so it was tough to choose. That being said, Imp... Holding up activation, I think, is correct here. They got the Trample on the Harbinger, but did they get all of them or just one? A creature card. So, like, if they had the potential to draw 3 or 4 cards off connecting, I would be worried about that. But I'm fine with activate Fetid Imp, Death Touch the Harbinger, they trample over and get 1 replacement card, but then the Harbinger is dead. I'm willing to accept that. Much tougher to accept would be they kill the Imp here, and then the Harbinger is still around causing trouble. This is no big question for me, though. We trade off the Snout pretty quickly. Visionary, interesting draw, and I think I will play it. Gives us still keeping the Imp up, lets us maybe find land. Now there's that. I don't want to lose the Imp activation though, so we can't really... We could do a Rights, but that's instant, so we're just going to hold. Yeah, that was a good draw, and we're hanging in there here. Cat Lord. Let's see. Imp continues to be earmarked for the Harbinger, and we could make a double trade here, which I think would be fine. Like, we just do this. We're at 14, though. We could also just take a hit from the kitty and not make that trade. One more cats. We don't have anything for it to kill, anything to destroy. Yeah, losing trample would be good, right? Yeah, we should kill it for the trample loss over there, I agree. All right, let's do that. We got some good turns coming. Even that's not bad. We can flash that in and have a 3/2 out of nowhere. And still, so we go flat with 6 mana. We can flash this in, pump it to 3/2, and activate the Fetid Imp. So I'm just going to pass. Right now we have action on both of those attacks if they do it. And if they don't, we still get to Blackguard. So it's not like we're doing nothing. I'll offer the trade, though. Why not Devotee? Because I thought I would be happy to trade Blackguard for the Sovereign. Nothing more complicated than that. I just wanted to set up that play and do it. maybe I'm overvaluing their sovereign as a thing to trade with. Yes, I of course we could play this and stonewall it, but I just wanted to trade. Now, how about devotee? Embrace it. We do that, we don't get this block. I think we just pass like this for now and have the imp activation. I don't want to go below imp activation. So we take 4, and then we have to embrace the devotee, and it becomes a 5/4 flyer, which we can... Unfortunately, we'd love 5 toughness, because then we could stonewall the replicator. Ah, yeah, all right. Warm embrace. This gets it out of common 3 damage removal at least. And now we can hold off the truffle snout. I'll take 1 hit from the replicator again. I'm sandbagging a little bit. I didn't see... Yeah, I guess I could play the swamp to be able to imp and rights, but I figure we're going to do one or the other. Like, if they have something to target the imp, we're going to rights it. If they don't, I guess... All right, there you go. Plus until end of turn. So we just have to let that happen. Now, hold land. We got punished. Actually, we'd like to trade rights in for that here, but we're gonna have to go to 1 and save the imp for death touch. Because I need this. I feel like we need the death touch. I think we've lost this one too, though, unfortunately. Yeah. Not a spectacular start here. I don't feel like our cards have not matched up well or anything, though. Just feels like... Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully O2 bracket will loosen up our ability to win a game. Cash in the imp. Here you go, D.
Bring out Jadine!
Skadoosh thinks we needed to cash in the imp for a 3/2 zombie and 2 cards. That imp was holding off huge threats for the entire game. I don't think we could... I don't think giving up the imp would have ever been correct there by my memory of that game. Mama's still looking for participants for the gauntlet this Friday. That's where I battle viewers instead of arena randos. All right, we're going to keep and go get our swamp and try and curve out a bit here. Blackguard being instant, we can wait. Haha! Veto! I don't think we want veto here. I think we're gonna go Truffle Snout after attack. Just build up our creatures. No reason to do anything else, really. Neither of these are worth holding up a Guile to protect. We want to get to a spot where we're protecting Veto with the Guile. Yeah, I see the sequence that you're looking at. I didn't mention that, you know, we could go Veto into Truffle Snout and then Truffle Snout deals 4, but that's not even how I care about using Veto here. Just want to curve out like normal limited and then bring Veto down to close it out when it's nice and safe. The 4 damage from a Truffle Snout. And then we get a 3/3 too, which I think is more important anyway. I'm gonna train up the Snouter and then look for a land. No land, but I'll use the Guile here to save the Snout. If they want to trade Blackguard for Swooper, that's cool. If they try to trade Swooper for Snout, we will do the Guile trick. We're telegraphed, but so be it. Do your worst. Blah. I'm gonna go well, they know about the Guile, so I'll attack before Visionary and well, although now they might have the they might have been like, well, I'm not gonna block tapped out because I can't respond to a Guile, but now that I have my mana, I can do this. And so I think they're setting up for like a destroy target tapped creature or something, so that the sequence I'm afraid of here is we attack with Truffle Snout, they block, we go Guile, they respond by killing our tapped creature. So, oh, they can also Sanctuary the bird. Is this a bird? Yeah, it's a griffin, though. It's not a bird, is the thing. So I think they're setting up for that. I don't want to fall for that, but I will offer the Blackguard. I'm going to send in the Blackguard. Happy to take this trade, or trade it for, yeah, Swift End is what I'm playing around. Feet, that's fine too. Obviously no reason to do that. Oh, I did, you're right, D. I'm missing my new meme. Sorry, everybody. Here you go. So I was worried about swift response, but it was feet. I still didn't want to, you can see, send in that to get chomped up by that nonsense. Yeah, we can totally get the, I'm with you. I was just going to say that, Kala. This is not the worst because we're giving up that 2 points of power, but now we can actually Fungal Rebirth, get our passage, get the tokens, and get our mana going again. You looking for a timeout, Rob? Rob Boville's looking for a timeout. Wants to go join D in the corner. pretty big. But we're also got them at 12, so they don't really have much of a power to race here. Much room to race. I'm going to go for a swamp. We're going to get more green here. Another swamp. We could now drop Veto and protect him. We can go Archer. We want... Actually, I think we want Visionary. And then next turn we may be able to get Dreadmaw. I think Visionary is what we want here. Adds to our mana, draws us a card. Maybe we find a land to help with our next mana plays. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Walking Corpse. I don't have anything. None of this needs to be protected. We're saving the Guile to protect the Veto anyway. Seth, you're saying... with a similar win percentage. It depends on the win percentage. If you want to mess around with that, Seth, explore someone with a 30-ish% win percentage, explore someone with a 70-ish% win percentage, and see how things shift. Yeah, sorry, I got all... I should have thought through my attack before figuring all that out, and I think we would trade a Snout for... a trick or any of these. So yeah, we'll offer the Snout. Why not? I think it's a good attack. Unfortunately, I've telegraphed that we're offering a straight trade for whatever they want. I'm doing it without the power of hidden information, mana and cards, but I'm also not going to compound the error by not making the attack, even though it's a worse attack with no mana up. I'm totally okay with this. Thank you for the host, Magic. Pretty strong looking deck from supposedly O2 opponent, although we are in ranked matchmaking, so I'm getting matched with other O2 opponents who have managed to at least rank up. All right, we got our forest. And now we can... Let's see, we got 7 mana. I actually like... Dreadmaw, hold Guile. We're now on a short clock here that we have to manage is the thing. So I'm trying to figure out how to get enough power down so that Veto creates big swings. So... yeah, we gotta remember these are kitties. Because the other thing we could do with 7 mana is Archer Veto here, which do we have time for? Maybe if we go Archer Veto, we can actually start gaining enough next turn to make it worth it. I think we have to start going for the Veto here. But I need it with enough oomph that it matters. And they only have 1 card, and they're on the beatdown, so I'm gonna put it all at risk here. Put Veto and Archer out.
Archer. Archer? Archer. Archer! Archer!
But Veto with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 9, threatening 9 face damage and life gain is very powerful. They, of course, have a virtual 16, though, with double lifelinkers, and with this thing, it's even more, 17. Like, this is going to be very tough for us to outrace this lifelink on the ground and this threat in the air. So, could be looking at an 0-3 here with a deck that people were calling a 5-win. I don't know. Maybe that's the state of black in the format. Maybe it's just the variance of this day, but... yeah, they'll take damage too, but can we race it? Like, so they're at a virtual 16, and we can deal like again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if they swing away. But if they swing away... Whoa! All right, they decided they couldn't beat Veto. I think they had more chance than that to beat that. I did not like our spot. House fire. Hat calls house fire. I hope not. I hope that was just a premature I can't beat Veto feeling. Old music, depends on what you mean. Like, I mean, if you realistically look at my playlists, obviously my predominant I have two main playlists. My current top-notch favorites, the 5-star, my current 5-star songs, and that's more mostly indie rock and some classic rock classics that I still love. And then my huge playlist, my expanded playlist, is kind of like everything I've ever loved. And in that playlist, like the oldest stuff, there's a little bit of Sinatra on there. I like crooners. I like the 50s crooners to an extent, but whenever I listen to one that's not Sinatra, I just wonder why I'm not listening to Sinatra. And I'm not super into classical or soundtracks, but I'll listen to that stuff for ambience or background music. In terms of early rock and roll, I like some oldies. I like hearing where rock started. But I'll listen to, you know, anything in the rock era, but not a lot of oldies. And then pre-rock, you know, like 57 and earlier, 56 and earlier, just a handful of crooners, really, and maybe a handful of old blues artists. Exactly. If it's not the rock and roll era, it's probably going to be a crooner or a blues man from me. Some jazz. I should say jazz, too. I'm not super into jazz, but I don't know about... I don't seek it out. There's just a handful of jazz on my big playlist. Although, like, I like Fish, and they are heavily jazz influenced. So I like jazz in the rock context. How about that? Like, pure jazz doesn't jazz me, but when predominantly rock-based artists incorporate jazz into their sound, I tend to dig that a lot. Snarky puppy. Well, I was like, I know skinny puppy, but not snarky puppy. I am not a Deadhead. I am a Fish head with healthy respect for the Dead and other jam bands, but the only jam band I would call myself a head of would be Fish. That being said, I love jam bands, and if you're like, hey Ryan, I'm going to a jam band tonight, you want to go? Yeah, I'm in. In the mood, sure. Glenn Miller, Dave Brubeck. I don't think that's 60s, right? The Take 5. Take 5's a great album. I like, of course, what is it, Vince? The Charlie Brown soundtrack. Some good jazz there. Pat says, thinking we need to change the tangent channel points redeem for a get back on topic redeem, adding that to the next admin meeting. But I'm always on topic, Pat. Don't you see? It's kind of like how it's always today. I am always on topic. 5 win was the most votes, Haj. I didn't vote at all, so don't blame me. Don't blame me. But you can go back and look at the results, and 5 wins was the most voted for. All right, the topic now is, can we get more than one win? Let's find out. I thought it was 5. Maybe I was wrong, Fenner. The vote, when it shows the voting results, it can be hard to tell sometime. No, who's doing it? Who's doing the cover, Mensch? Yeah, we got some powerful cards in here. Are we keeping this? I have a hard time throwing this back. We got a perfect split of our mana-hungry deck. You know, there's a lot of double costs in our deck. Trouble is we don't land before 4 right now. Is this... If we, you know, if Oppo plays anything aggressive, we might just roll over. I'm worried about this. I think I have to keep, but I'm really nervous about it. We could get rolled over and lose, but I think on average this is going to be better for us than a random 6, or, you know, what we end up mulliganing. Razor says can't. Anybody else giving up on this? Yeah, it's a tough one. There's a lot of keep, a lot of mull out there. We do have tools to survive aggro. Yeah, I guess this is too slow if our only guaranteed play is Archer. Oh, I hate sending this perfect mana away, but let's go with the mulliganing crowd. And we're going to keep this and actually send the Oak and be pretty pleased. Oh yeah, that's true. Like, I get a lot of music recommendations. Maybe maybe I'll like do a channel points redemption that guarantees you that I'll listen to the thing you suggested. Well, look, it is aggro. They're not aggroing us, but... Well, I'm gonna play a corpse. Extra point of toughness might matter. Maybe not. Probably not against red, really. I don't know what... It's gonna kill the corpse, or kill the blackguard that's not killing the corpse. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate that. Double Striker effectively makes this a trade if they want it. If they come up with a 2-spell turn, they could be sending in a 3/3 Double Striker next turn. I'm going to send in the corpse and probably play the passage. Man, we could just play Truffle Snout on 3, I guess. Let's do that. Then Truffle Snout on 3 says they have to play 2 creatures to get in with the Siege Striker without a trade. Don't listen to Rob. He's wrong. They're definitely saying swoop in that song. They're definitely saying swoop. All right, we have 4 manas. We can do a corpse. We could do a... double block that they might not see coming. Pretty sure they're saying swoop. But thanks for your opinion. I'm gonna attack to encourage a striker potentially coming in as a 2/2 2/2 double strike. Because if they decide to send in against a walking corpse, we can add a blackguard to the table and then beat, or at least trade with a 2/2 striker. Veto. If we do veto, what are the benefit there? I'm gonna say veto still. You'd go veto, Haj? I wanted to 2-spell. We get to go corpse, blackguard, and if we get another land, then we get veto, blackguard, then we untap and have crap ton of creatures in a active veto. I'm gonna run my line. But if you have oh yeah, sure. If we didn't have 4 mana, then absolutely I'm gonna go ahead and run veto out. But I'm gonna double spell here. And actually, even if they, well, this will be interesting. So almost certainly they're going to send Striker, right? And oh no, they're not sending Striker. Okay, that's fine. Got double spells in both colors, so we're going to even out our mana. Get a blackguard down. Well, we could go veto, but we don't have the guaranteed 5. I'd rather go visionary and look for a land to cast the blackguard and have the 5 next turn for sure. We're just going to keep holding this veto, and hopefully we can get there soon enough. Okay, that's good. That's nice. We don't get to play and activate, but I'm feeling better about our ability to eventually veto it up for a big amount here. Truffle Snout could get in, but it also threatens the Siege Striker unless they tap 2. I think I'm going to say no attacks and not offer a trade here. I don't want to risk trading anything when really what I want are things to get lifelink for veto later. That's my thinking, Tom. But maybe I'm pushing it too far and we're going to lose ground to this Gale Super or whatever here. Yeah, maybe I'm missing damage. I'm doing my thing of working out my turn without working out combat first. There's a way in which partly I think I'm doing that because I feel like this is so centered around veto getting there or not that it almost is incidental. It's like veto's going to work and we're going to win, or that's not going to happen in time and we're going to lose. That's not an excuse. I'm just saying that may be how I'm getting lazy with my thinking. That's cool. Rebirth is actually interesting here because now at least we throw veto down, and if they kill it, we get veto right back. The trouble is we not in a spot where we untap, play veto, and activate. We don't have the 8. So still, though, we're going to do veto. But hey, look, let me think through my turn. How about I actually do what I say I'm going to do? So Blackguard attack here. What does it get us? Nah, we threaten the pump. I guess it gets through. I mean, I don't want to set up a crackback that they're happy with, though. Yeah, I'm with Haj now. I missed my window, and now we're done attacking. So we're going to go veto. And hold. Yeah, Pig could threaten the Striker, but we want Pig on D here. And we want Pig around for veto activation. Yeah, veto is pack 1, pick 1. And we were pretty disciplined. Like, we were ready to let go of veto, but then the black ended up flowing enough to make it playable. So again, well, let's see how they attack here. I think it's permanent, but we just want veto. But yeah, we could have gotten the land, for example. Well, we're not dead. Oop. Hey, stop that prophet meme. Sorry, wrong meme. My system is betraying me.
Your
That's
friend
what
here is only mostly dead.
One, we have 7 total, which again is not 8, which means we don't get anything, but I will go veto. Now our land, I'm going to sandbag the land, right? It can't possibly matter here. Yeah, we're 1 short of veto plus activation. Just making sure I'm not supposed to play this. It's not going to change what they do, right? They're going to presume we have a land anyway. I think... I'll play it. We got pumpers. I shouldn't mess around. Yeah, I'm getting too cute. Sandbagging in a way that I can't explain why is good, other than the obvious pretend we have something, versus we have this activated ability, these activated... We have too much activated abilities going on not to play out our land. Unless I'm going to do the actual careful work and figure out exactly what all of our options are. Well, obviously, sap on Striker. They're at a virtual 16 here. But the trouble is... Oh, let's see. Must do what must do. We could put 4 worth on the Siege Striker. But really, I think we're just... Yeah, we're just doing the saps because we need max damage, right? No, I think again we need Blackguard lifelinking back on our turn. Either veto is working next turn or it's not. Embrace is interesting, but... All right, let's do some math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But they've got the Acolyte, so that's 16. Does the lethal happen before the lifelink, though? I don't know how the Acolyte lifelink works. Fly Snout, no, we have, let's see, 6, 7. No, we can't do anything with the Embrace. We just want to go. And this isn't a... All right. All right. We don't... There was some look at whether or not we could Embrace here, but we can't... We need to activate Veto. So all there is here is swing and activate. Oh, that's right. The thing that gets us there is that some of these creatures actually connect for damage too. I was trying to get there just on Veto alone, but we don't need to get there on Veto alone. So that's what I was worried. I was like, oh, the Acolyte means that they're at 16, but the extra damage from creatures made it moot. Yep. Try not to get stuck on that if we're in a veto spot again. Remembering we get actual combat damage as well as veto damage. Yeah, Razor and I were both trying to gain 16. Working real hard to gain 16 life. Like, you know, you can actually attack too. You can just punch their face. The one flyer was Summoning Sick Climber. They were a turn short on that last flyer. Yeah, if they had kept back blockers, that might have been tough. Or certainly we would have had more math to do. Even if we had, you know, if I'd realized that I was not just trying to gain 16, I was trying to gain some amount and deal some amount. It might have been their only out. I didn't do the math on it, though, Tree. So it's hard to know without doing the full detailed math on that exchange. All right. Another decent-looking opener. If we have to, we can grasp something on 2. Not having first strike on defense was big because everything got to deal its lifelink. Is that something we would grasp? It can help power out the blue-red deck for sure. But I think we don't want to spend our resources on an Arcanist. We're going to go Devotee and fly it and see what happens with that. And somewhat telegraphing the presence of the grasp, but I'm okay with that too. Also prepared for 3 damage on Devotee to just put a stop to that. Unfortunately, the common exiles as well, so we can't even get it back with our Fungal Rebirth or whatever, but if they don't have it, yeah, we have a pretty good spot here. See ya, Tree. Growth. Interesting. But I like that we have Demonic Embrace with Guile now. That's going to be pretty great. Solemn. What a great card. Hopefully not too relevant to our plan here, which is simply to keep going with a protected 5/4 flyer. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're telegraphed for our Guile. What are you going to do about it? Great. Here's my Guile. What's your plan, Bong? Rebirth says we can even drop Veto here and be fine with that. I'm going to keep sending in the air, though. I'm not going to stop that. We could consider grasping something, but Veto plus Guile protecting both of this stuff is great. And then if we get a land, Veto might just end it in one swing with a lifelink 5/4 flyer. Slag, totally reasonable, but this is why we like the Guile here. they can't cast anything for a single colorless mana, and I believe they've played land this turn, so we can... This is a safe block. Although we don't even really need it. Like, do we just win? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't even need to. We just win. Like... Oh, no, we don't have trample. They can block here still. I don't even like... Even though there was, like, nothing, I couldn't quite do it. Interesting. Well, now... Growth is so close. Okay, now we got it. So we still have it. Sorry, we do. Never mind. I can play Magic. Shut up. And I'm not even going to look at chat because you all are mean. I know you're being mean to me. Shut up. I'm the one winning a Magic game here. All right. Nice. Got to 3 wins. That feels good. That's the big leap. Especially starting 0-2 to crawl back to 3 feels nice. I think we can keep this. This isn't super sexy with the lack of green, but we do have Imp on 2 already. Any land in the world, we can embrace the Imp and have a, what, a 4/3 flying activated Death Touch. That's pretty good. I'm going to keep. Obviously, any forest unlocks the rest of the hand, and you gotta give yourself some chance to draw some stuff. So unfortunately we found the swamp, but that, as I said, any land gets us the embrace. So we now have our kind of floor case. Any land, you say, says the deck. If the Pteranodon gets attacky here, then maybe, okay. So without Pteranodon attacking, I'm going to take the moment to Devotee. And then next turn we'll have Demonic Embrace plus a Fetid Imp activation, which seems great. Not blocking with this next turn, though, and no reach here, so I am attacking. Nice call on the edge from Robert. That's good for us, though. I like it. I'm going to do shields down, killing of the Pteranodon here. And then we have Death Touch for the Scourge. You'd kill the Scourge. Oh, man. Well, embracing up and getting a 4/3 Death Toucher. We're a little behind. I don't think that's going to be great. We're a little unlucky. I know I kept some risk here in not having any forest to start, but we've drawn a lot now and failed to find any green. That's too bad. Yeah, I think we're going to need to get lucky, find a forest, play Mauler and embrace it later, or, you know. But we got to hold here. Hold back that Scourge. What are your considerations in deciding Pteranodon versus Scourge in the Grasp? I was just thinking it almost didn't matter, but that the Pteranodon represented the most attack damage, but really it felt like it didn't matter that one was going to need the other. I suppose if they kill the Imp, this could get bigger than the Pteranodon ever could. That would be a reason. But neither can get out of range of the Death Touch. So it really is about what if they kill the Death Toucher, right? I think that's the question to have asked. I don't think we're going to mill them out. Deck's having fun with us now. Well, we also shaved to 16, so we have 8 sources of green here, and not finding any 27 cards in. That's just rough. Not 27 cards in, with 13 cards in. Sure. Yeah, Visionary would be the LOL top deck. Let's top deck a Visionary before we lose. That would be a fine way to go out, especially after talking about having a long soapbox about the perils of the mana system. I'm happy we got to 3 wins, starting 0-2. Not going to complain. And it was a risky keep. I don't know if anybody disagreed with my keep. But in general, when I'm a forest away from having a great-looking hand, I'm not going to get cute in a spot like that. Well, now we can at least, hopefully... I guess we have to play Snout to gain some life. We could also train. Trouble is the tapper taps 2 creatures, so we really don't have blockers for 1 turn. That's why I kind of want the life. Fungal Rebirth for what? We want to get Grasp? Oh, we can't get Grasp. It's permanent, right? So Fungal Rebirth for Devotee. Oh, yeah, but no, I mean, we play something here, they tap, untap, tap. They get to do the double tap feature is what I'm talking about. So, I'm gonna get the life. And because they have the taps, I'm gonna just tack 2. This gives them the chance to spend their mana this turn, so maybe you don't like giving them a chance to spend their mana for 2 damage. But I also feel like they're low on cards, and if they spend their mana this turn, at least they don't have the mana to then tap down next turn. Yeah, we can get a mostly dead for sure, because that's what we are.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
I'm having a hard time seeing the path where we find 18 damage before shrines take over or whatever. Looks like we're not straight dead right now on the spot here, but we're going to 1. Second forest. We have the embrace to get up in the air, and we can make a chump. No, we can't make a chump, can we? Can't do both. Boy. And the tap just gets us anyway. Yeah, all right. So we are doomsday. Okay, let's give them the credit for knowing how their shrine works. The keep had some risk. It was defensible risk, and then the bad side of that risk got us. But I'm really happy we came back for 3 wins. Started 0-2, looking nervous. I'm going to add this to Dex 2. Maybe we'll play it. I think we should just go play some Jumpstart or finish the draft we were working on yesterday. Here. I'm going to pull what's up next. Jumpstart. Or we have a... forget what colors it was. What was our deck that we started yesterday? Red-green, was it? I can't remember. There's a draft we started yesterday on the other account that we could go finish. But I'm going to go Jumpstart or Finish to go finish that draft. And you tell me what to do. Meanwhile, I'll hop to Soapbox. Thank our YouTube friends for sticking around to see us manage to scrap out 3 wins from that. I think it could have gone a lot better. Could have gone a lot worse. We got a little unlucky, but a lot of expectations were met in terms of how difficult it is to be dominant with black. So thanks for hanging out, YouTube. We'll catch you for the next piece of entertainment. Bye.